Seriously? How is this a fair fight? Are they taking it easy on me because this is my first Right Club participation? I look around and see mostly 20 or 30 something, so maybe they're toying with the old guy by getting him to tear a phone book in half with his bare hands, but they've already pre-ripped it, so when he does it and gets all excited, they can laugh at the inside joke. I mean, should you go to school from home or live away from home while in school? Isn't it obvious? Away is the way. Even the word obvious itself bears witness. Way back in the 80s, the 1580s, the adjective obvious, which came from the adverb obvium, meant something you couldn't miss because it was in the way. Ob equals against, viam equals way. Away is the way. Bringing it up to a more modern era, the 1980s. We have the English band Madness in their song Our House talking about how great it is to be at home, but even amongst all that feel-good homebodiness at about 1 minute 21 seconds, you hear a background voice saying something tells you that you got to move away from it. Which brings me to my reasons for supporting the away side of this argument. If you're college age and presented with these two options, the one that grabs you by the shirt and headbutts you is just one word: party. Pardon me, I don't think I conveyed that reason properly. What I meant to say was, party! Yes, 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 my little libertine has become the time in your life you've dreamed about since you were old enough to resent being told what to do. Now you can practice all the moral anarchy you've hungered and thirsted for lo these past years. Especially if you were brought up in a home that was strict for religious reasons or just strict for some other weird reason. Now it's your time. You can watch all the forbidden movies you weren't allowed to see. You can listen to all the bad music that the fundamentalists scared your parents into believing was evil. How much would you expect to pay for such an amazing offer? Wait! Before you answer, you also get these items. The phrase, going to bed now, has a new, wonderful, non-masturbatory, plural meaning. You can eat Fruity Pebbles for dinner if you want. Hell, you can eat anything for anything if you want. If rearranging the neurons in your brain through chemical stimulation is your thing, then you can snort, smoke, inject, drink, inhale, swallow any and every substance until you see God, uncover the meaning of life, or end up repeating the phrase, my tongue is a Ozy, my dick is a AK, my tongue go brrrr, my dick go pop. Like an endless human tape loop. And of course, the lesser but still essential perks of not cleaning your clothes, room, or body until your friends just can't stand the smell. Which, by the way, is not just a guy thing. I've witnessed plenty of girls do the same. All this unfettered freedom can be yours for the one low price of living away from home while going to school. Away is the way. There are students who live here in Los Angeles, right near school, who still move away from home to attend. You can really understand why someone from, say, Boise, Idaho, would move away. Because there are even higher reasons for being away from home while in school, assuming you've survived your initial nihilistic foray into hedonism without destroying yourself. Because if you crashed and burned academically, physically, emotionally, or mentally, it's your own fault, and all your friends will go forward without you and may mourn your passing, but will chalk it up to natural selection and figure it was way better. You got weeded out before you had a chance to pass on your weak-ass DNA. But now that the first girl you slept with called you to tell you she's pregnant, even that's not guaranteed. Damn you, lifestyles, condoms! Still, being away from home is the best growth experience you could ask for. Sure, it'd be easier in the short term to live at home where the bills are paid, the doors are locked at night, food is in the cupboard, or even meals are waiting for you on the table. But haven't you been suckling on the teat of spoiled privilege long enough? Isn't it high time you took the next step toward grown-uppery? You don't still crawl on your hands and knees, do you? I mean, while you're sober. How pathetic would it be if you still walked around with diapers or sucking a pacifier and sippy cup and eating baby bland biscuits? You knew back then the time had come to learn to stand on your own and shed the ways of a baby. Remember the words of Paul, not the apostle, but my mechanic. He said, when I was a kid, I acted like a kid, but now I'm a man, so I did away with the ways of a kid. All right, maybe he did steal those words from the apostle in 1 Corinthians 11:13, but even if he did, the point is the same. A student is only a student if he's learning something, and likely the most useful thing you can learn is how to be self-sufficient. Away is the way. You start to find your balance of life that works for you because you're the one that has to face the consequences now. You didn't study for your classes because you overdid the party, you get the low grade. You didn't pay your utility bill, you have to pay the reconnect fee or sit in the dark until you do. Yes, I know in many cases the parents are still sending money and helping out on the sidelines in other ways, like buying things for the apartment, etc., but you're still out on your own for the most part, and the lessons learned by doing that can't be taught in school. Like how do you handle if your new place has a ghost? What then? The first place I was in, I lived in, I was awakened in the dead of night by the whooshing sound of an object flying through the living room, down the hall, in my room, across my bed, before speeding back into the hallway to make the circuit again. Couldn't see a thing, but that sound, along with what sounded like little legs running across the floor, scared the shite out of me. What was that? After what seemed like an hour, it was probably seconds, the running stopped and the whooshing stayed in the living room area, but sounded like it was wrestling with something. By now, I was over my initial fear-induced paralysis, and my curiosity had kicked in. I grabbed my flashlight, cautiously went down the hall to the living room to find my cat tangled up in the Tower Records bag that was stuck to his leg because of the CD label sticker. I threw him on the bag. Okay, so there was no ghost, but look at the big picture. I can now deal with a ghost if they ever do show up. Of course, now I have some experience they never have. Go figure. But that's the kind of lessons life teaches. Being away from home gives you a constant curriculum of learning. And if you didn't learn it the first time, no problem. You can always take the lesson again, and believe me, you will take the lesson again. Make no mistake about that. So now you've had time to think about it. As you sat here listening, your subconscious has been weighing the evidence, and all that remains for you to listen and to speak the words that is already formed. Can you hear it yet? It may be ever so faint, but it's very clear. Listen. There it is. My Right Club congregation, open your mouths and let the truths be heard. A way is the way.